Thank you very much for the opportunity. This is a first for SSTI, not the interest in SBIR that's been with us since. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
To show that I am a rookie. Much of my original testimony, it seems, needs to be summarized only briefly because it appears that it's in much of the draft legislation, and we appreciate that. I also appreciate the support for FAST that's been shown by some of the other panelists. The committee recognizes, it appears, the role and value that states and local governments play in outreach and assistance for SBIR firms. And in fact, since the mid-'80s, the states have viewed SBIR as a tremendous opportunity for economic development through the growth of their high-tech firms. And I can attest to that from my own personal experience. My first real job was to look at how SBIR was affecting the small businesses in Ohio through the Ohio Department of Development. And that was only in its first year of SBIR of making awards back in '83, '84. As an appendix to my testimony, it illustrates nearly every state has already established at least one program dedicated to supporting SBIR proposal development, awareness, and in many cases direct matching funds for SBIR awards. And additionally, there are probably 1,100 to 1,200 programs at the state and local level that are supporting technology growth through either university commercialization, SBIR matching, Phase 3 angel funds, and I believe Dr. Matthews in his testimony briefly that I saw it may provide a good example of some of the excellent work being done in the Cincinnati area. While the federal government's the agency's perspective is that SBIR results need to be commercialized, most states recognize it needs to be commercialized within their boundaries. And many of the concerns the states brought to SSTI's attention regarding FAST, the original introduction of FAST, have also been addressed in the draft. So I'll direct the rest of my time on those comments to the initial reactions to the draft legislation, which I saw this morning. This seems to be an awful lot of work for only 2-year authorization. 8 years was definitely too long given the changes that have occurred in many industries and how R&D is conducted and how innovation occurs. But I believe 2 years won't give you enough time to identify that the changes you're making are having the desired or potentially deleterious effects. So possibly something along the lines of 5 years in between would be useful. It also gets you off of the election cycle. As the National Academy of Sciences mentioned, state assistance, even these small, fast grants, seems to make a difference, and it does. The carrot that the federal government can provide helps direct limited resources toward particular audiences that may not get the attention otherwise based on the limited resources that states already have that they're investing in tech-based economic development. There are elements of the bill, however, that could be tweaked that would make FAST authorization much more meaningful for the small businesses that you're hoping to help. I noticed that the award size is set at $250,000. You do recognize the need for multi-year awards of 3 years or more to provide continuation or continuity in the programs and staffing level and staffing commitments. However, the authorization level or program is only for 2 years, so you're setting some programs up for failure or, well, potential problems or challenges by making 3-year awards for a 2-year program. So something that we can work out, I believe. Also, if the committee means $250,000 for the full 3 years, then you're inadvertently crippling the programs. Oh, gosh. So I recommend that I think you mean $250,000 per year for the 3 years, which would be matched dollar for dollar by the state and local governments, and I think that's a much more meaningful value. As a result of that, though, I recommend that you increase the authorization level to $20 million rather than the $10 million, so that you have enough money available to make more awards in more states, spreading the geographic reach of the program. I noticed the exclusion of commercialization activities from the list of potential uses of FAST funds, and I believe that's a mistake primarily because based on the awards or the way the SBIR program is set up, most companies will not win SBIR awards that receive assistance. So if we can provide a structure to help those communities or those companies get into the infrastructure that already exists through venture capital, angel capital, then it's a much more meaningful program. And I've run out of time, but my other point is just that FAST did not work well under SBA in its first go-around. The states have recommended that it be moved to or transferred to NSF, which provides an environment that's much more conducive to the flexibility and has the understanding already in place of supporting innovation companies. Thank you.